We are pleased to welcome you to our annual harvest celebration, my father announced, his voice resonating throughout the beautifully adorned barn at River's Edge Vineyard. Today signifies a significant new chapter in our family's legacy. We are pleased to announce that Andrea, having recently completed her MBA, will assume the role of CEO. The audience erupted in applause as I remained motionless, my wine glass poised midway to my lips. 6 months ago, I transferred my entire life savings to prevent this vineyard from entering foreclosure. I observed my younger sister stepping forward, looking radiant in her designer dress, having never engaged in labor in the fields. My name is Jessica, and I am 35 years of age. I established my investment consulting firm from the ground up, successfully developing it into a thriving business without seeking assistance from my parents. During the time that Andrea was receiving financial support from our parents for her MBA, I was dedicating myself to 60-hour work weeks, gaining a deeper understanding of success. Consequently, when I received a distressed call regarding the bank's foreclosure notice 6 months ago, I promptly transferred $850, my entire life savings. Without hesitation, they stated that we are family. We have mutual trust in one another. With her business education and innovative perspective, my father stated, Andrea will guide River's Edge into a new era of advancement and development. She possesses an ideal blend of formal education and a deep understanding of our family's legacy. I observed Andrea receiving accolades. The same sister who dedicated her college years to sharing vineyard photos rather than acquiring knowledge about soil composition or fermentation techniques. The same sister who was unable to distinguish our Cabernet from our Merlot in a blind tasting last Christmas. My mother placed her hand on my arm with a gentle touch. Jessica, I trust you will comprehend the situation. Andrea's degree positions her as the ideal candidate to manage the business aspects. I interrupted her with a cordial smile. Certainly, Mother. We expect Andrea to perform exceptionally well. I raised my glass in a toast, maintaining a steady voice despite the chill settling in my chest. I extended my toast to the recently appointed CEO of River's Edge. After excusing myself, I stepped outside into the cool evening air and retrieved my phone. Scrolling to a contact I had not anticipated needing. Rachel Thompson, the formidable corporate attorney I encountered at various wine industry events. I require your assistance regarding a family business issue. I sent a text message. Would you be available for a meeting tomorrow? Her response was prompt. 10 a.m. in my workplace. Please bring any relevant documentation you possess. Rachel's office provided a view of downtown Dallas, with the morning sun reflecting off the steel and glass structures. Seated opposite me, she examined the bank statements reflecting my $850 transfer to River's Edge Vineyard's account. Allow me to clarify, she stated, raising her gaze from the documents. You transferred your entire life savings without a formal written agreement? Is there not even a promissory note available? They are my family, I responded, the words now carrying a bitter connotation. Upon receiving the call regarding the foreclosure notice, my primary concern was preserving our legacy. 3 generations of winemaking are at risk of being lost due to the over-leveraging of the property to finance Andrea's MBA program and the construction of a new tasting room that she deemed necessary. Rachel reclined in her chair. They have appointed her as CEO. Despite your investment that contributed to the preservation of the vineyard. She took a moment before inquiring about the day you initiated the money transfer. What specific promises did they make? I closed my eyes, recalling that urgent phone call. My father assured me that I would be well taken care of and that my investment would ensure my position within the family business. My mother was in tears, expressing her intentions to make amends with me. I opened my eyes, feeling a surge of anger. Instead, they are treating my contribution as merely a daughter's responsibility. Were there any witnesses to these conversations? Indeed, I affirmed, adjusting my posture to sit up straighter. During my visit to facilitate the transfer, their accountant, Michael, was present. He appeared to be uneasy with the entire situation and repeatedly recommended that we formalize our agreement in writing. My parents rejected him, stating that it would undermine the family trust. Rachel's eyes shone with a bright intensity. Michael has the potential to be highly valuable. Initially, It is essential to comprehend your desired outcome. Are you interested in taking control of the vineyard? I declined with a shake of my head. I would like to request the return of my investment along with the accrued interest. Allow Andrea to retain her title as CEO. I will establish my own vineyard using my financial resources, creating a competitive entity in the market. Rachel smiled, indicating that she has devised a plan. The actions of your parents can be classified as verbal fraud. Michael's testimony, along with the accompanying bank records, will enable us to construct a robust case. Rather than proceeding with immediate filing, we will first issue a demand letter that clearly delineates how their actions may be construed as intentional financial manipulation. She retrieved a notepad. We will require the repayment of your $850, along with an annual interest of 8%. Within a period of 30 days. We will also request all financial records pertaining to your investment since its inception. I anticipate that we will uncover some noteworthy decisions made subsequent to the receipt of your funds. I experienced a significant relief from my responsibilities. If they refuse, what steps will we take? Subsequently, we will initiate legal proceedings that will allow for public examination of their financial records. It appears that your sister's MBA may not have equipped her with the necessary skills for effective crisis management in that situation. The damn letter arrived with significant impact at the river's edge. I was working from my apartment when I received a call from Andrea, whose voice was filled with urgency and concern. Is there a legal action being pursued? Are you seriously considering suicide? She exclaimed that you are on the verge of jeopardizing everything our family has established. My father is experiencing chest pains as a result of your actions. I maintained my composure while she expressed her frustrations. The solution is straightforward. Please return my investment along with the accrued interest. I have invested $850, with an additional 8% to be paid over a period of 6 months. With your MBA, Andrea, you are certainly capable of performing the calculations required. We allocated the funds to preserve this vineyard, which is an integral part of your heritage. Are you suggesting that you intend to drive us into bankruptcy in order to reclaim it? She paused, her tone becoming subtly cunning. Furthermore, it is important for your attorney to understand that verbal agreements within family businesses can be quite complex. There is insufficient evidence to substantiate any claims. I smiled, although she was unable to perceive it. I have just concluded a phone conversation with Michael. Do you recall him? Who is your accountant? He has provided a sworn statement regarding the day I executed the transfer, detailing how he recommended formalizing our agreement in writing and how my father assured me of a secured position within the business. There was a brief pause in the conversation. Please hold on, my father would like to speak with you. My father's voice was audible, strained, and filled with anger. Jessica, could you please clarify your actions and their impact on us? Considering all that we have accomplished on your behalf, could you please clarify your actions and their impact on us? I appreciate all that you have done for me. I interrupted him. Let us discuss that matter. While you financed Andrea's education, including her MBA, car, and apartment, I focused on establishing my own life. The sole occasion on which I made a request was when you assured me of a future here in return for my efforts in preserving the vineyard. We did not guarantee you control. Andrea possesses the necessary educational qualifications for this role. I am no longer seeking control. I interrupted once more. I am requesting a refund. You acquired the funds with a clear understanding of your intended purpose. He altered his approach, his tone becoming more gentle. Please consider a more rational approach. The vineyard currently lacks the necessary liquid capital. We will need to secure an additional loan. I recommend that you begin discussions with banks. There are 25 days remaining before I proceed with filing the lawsuit. Additionally, Father, all financial decisions made since my investment will be subject to careful examination, including the new Mercedes that Andrea is driving and the vacation you and Mom took to Tuscany last month. I could discern muffled conversation occurring in the background. Subsequently, my mother joined the conversation. Jessica, she implored, I would like to invite you to join me for dinner. We can discuss this matter as a family. At this moment, we are not functioning as a family. Mother, as business associates, we are currently involved in a dispute. Please have your attorney contact Rachel with your response. I ended the call, my hands trembling slightly. My phone promptly illuminated with messages from family members, varying from expressions of anger to requests for reconciliation. I disregarded all distractions and opened my laptop to begin researching available vineyard properties in the adjacent county. We anticipate significant competition for River's Edge in the near future. The subsequent week presented an unexpected revelation. Michael, the accountant, contacted me to arrange a meeting over coffee, his tone reflecting a sense of urgency. We convened at a serene cafe situated away from the vineyard, where he arrived holding a substantial folder. He indicated that there was something important to review. Glancing around cautiously before placing the folder on the table, I have been conducting a review of the book since receiving your investment. The figures do not align accurately. I accessed the folder to review the comprehensive financial records. Michael indicated several highlighted entries. Your investment of $850 has not only prevented the vineyard from entering foreclosure, it also financed personal expenses that were recorded as business costs. Is it the newest model from Mercedes-Benz? This model is specifically intended for use as a delivery vehicle. The trip to Tuscany. The process involved conducting market research. Even Andrea's MBA included sections that retroactively recorded employee education expenses. I gripped my coffee cup firmly. Was my investment utilized for all of this? Michael nodded solemnly. There is additional information available. 2 weeks prior to the announcement of Andrea as CEO, a new company, River's Edge Holdings LLC, was registered. The discrete transfer of vineyard assets to this new entity has taken place. Did you invest in the initial vineyard company? It is undergoing a process of hollowing out. The realization struck me with significant impact. They were not simply dismissing my contribution. They were diligently working to prevent me from making any claims. The vineyard I had preserved was on the verge of becoming an unoccupied structure. Michael stated, in a lowered voice, that it is necessary for your lawyer to review this. However, this information should remain confidential. I am currently seeking new employment opportunities. I cannot align myself with this type of financial manipulation. I reached for my phone to contact Rachel, however. It buzzed first with a message from Andrea. A family meeting is scheduled for this evening. Please refrain from bringing your legal counsel. This is the final opportunity to resolve this matter collaboratively. I presented the text to Michael. He declined to agree. It appears they have become aware that I was reviewing the records. They will attempt to persuade you to withdraw. I responded, recalling similar family meetings from my childhood when Andrea had faced consequences for her actions. My parents consistently managed to deflect responsibility, positioning me as the unreasonable party for not safeguarding my sister. I responded via text message. It is essential that any discussion occur in the presence of legal counsel. Andrea responded promptly. Your decision. Please refrain from expressing dissatisfaction when the situation escalates. I contacted Rachel and forwarded her the photographs of Michael's documents. Her sudden intake of breath conveyed a great deal of information. She stated that this is precisely what she was seeking. They have engaged in several financial improprieties. This matter extends beyond the scope of a civil suit. This could lead to the filing of criminal charges. I expressed my desire for them not to be incarcerated. I stated it promptly. I would like to request the return of my investment. We will utilize this as a strategic advantage. I am currently in the process of drafting an amended demand letter. They are required to return your funds with interest within 48 hours, rather than the previously stipulated 30 days, or they will be subject to an investigation by the SEC. The decision rests with them. Following the conclusion of the call, I remained in the cafe well after Michael's departure. Examining the incriminating documents, I experienced a sense of guilt regarding the potential impact this situation could have on my family. However, another aspect, the one that recalled each dismissal, every instance of favoritism toward Andrea, and all the sacrifices I had made to assist them, experienced a sense of grim satisfaction. I received a series of urgent messages from my parents and sister, which caused my phone to continuously vibrate. I disregarded all distractions and opened my laptop to access the real estate listing I had been considering. The Marshall Creek property encompasses 200 acres of prime vineyard land. Situated directly across the valley from the river's edge, the property boasts an optimal soil composition, exceptional sun exposure, and, most importantly, an unobstructed view of my family's vineyard. The revised demand letter had a significant impact, akin to a severe hailstorm occurring on a critical harvest day. I was engaged in a virtual tour of the Marshall Creek property when my father entered my apartment unexpectedly, holding the letter aloft as if it were a symbol of surrender. He gasped for breath, his face flushed, as he mentioned the criminal charges. "Is that your family? I expected more from you based on your upbringing." I reduced the size of the browser window displaying the south-facing slopes of Marshall Creek. "Did you raise me to be a victim? You utilized my $850 for luxury vehicles and vacations in Italy while strategizing to exclude me from the business." He began to explain that it was never our intention. But I interrupted him. "Please retain this information. I have reviewed the financial records, the newly established LLC, the asset transfers, and all related documentation. Your actions not only constituted a betrayal but also demonstrated an effort to ensure that I was unable to defend myself." I rose to my feet, maintaining a steady voice. "You have 40 hours remaining to return my investment along with the accrued interest, or Rachel will proceed to file all necessary documentation with the SEC." His complexion shifted from red to pale. "Would you jeopardize your sister's future? She has recently assumed the role of Chief Executive Officer. What does the future hold for Andrea?" I expressed a bitter laugh. "What is the status of my request? I generated that income while she was sharing Instagram photos from business school. The funds you assured would guarantee my position within the family business." He expressed a willingness to negotiate a solution. "It may be beneficial for Andrea to consider a shared leadership role as CEO. This could be structured as a co-leadership arrangement." I declined with a shake of my head. "I prefer not to share leadership responsibilities with Andrea. I would like to request a refund. All funds, including accrued interest. Consequently, you will no longer need to be concerned about any competition I may pose to your esteemed CEO." He narrowed his eyes at the term competing. "Could you please clarify what that entails?" At that moment, my phone vibrated. The individual responsible for managing Marshall Creek was the real estate agent. Optimal timing. I responded using the speaker function. "Hello Jessica. I have some excellent news to share. The owner expresses a strong interest in your proposal. Your vision for expanding the vineyard's production is highly regarded. Could you please let me know your availability to meet and discuss the terms?" I observed the expression on my father's face change as he came to a realization. Marshall Creek was a distinctive property. During the time my grandfather was in charge, it was the primary competitor of River's Edge. Their wine consistently garnered numerous awards until the owner retired and allowed the vines to go fallow. He whispered, "You would not. What do you mean by that? Establish my own vineyard? Leverage my expertise to effectively compete against the business that has wronged me?" I acquired my knowledge of winemaking from my grandfather. All matters. I was busy examining soil samples and weather patterns while Andrea was analyzing business cases. He remarked that your grandfather would be disappointed, attempting one final emotional appeal. "No, he would take pride in that. I will help preserve his legacy and not let you and Andrea destroy it through greed." I redirected my attention to my laptop. I must now attend to the acquisition of a property. TikTok has reached a total of 40 hours. He departed without further comment, forcefully closing the door behind him. Shortly thereafter, I received a flurry of messages from Andrea. "It is unacceptable to issue threats towards my father in this manner. Your feelings may stem from a sense of envy regarding my achievements. Your actions have caused distress to your mother. I have blocked her number and resumed my focus on the Marshall Creek listing." The property required renovations, however. I recognized its potential. Furthermore, the premium quality of the grapes and the higher elevation would enable me to produce wines that could directly compete with the best sellers of River's Edge. My phone vibrated once more, this time indicating a message from Rachel. "They are currently in a state of disarray," she reported. "I have just received a call from their attorney. It appears that they are seeking to obtain an emergency loan." I smiled politely. In either case, I emerged victorious. Either I received a refund or I engaged with Marshall Creek, and River's Edge would experience genuine competition. With 12 hours remaining until the deadline, my mother arrived at my office. She held a substantial manila envelope and wore the same expression she had employed during our childhood when mediating between Andrea and me. As she sat down in the chair across from my desk, she informed me that your father required sedation. He had a significantly elevated blood pressure. Are you satisfied at this moment? I maintained a neutral expression. What's inside the envelope, Mother? She placed it on my desk. We will apply our utmost effort. We have secured mortgages on all available assets. The total amount present is $600. The bank has provided us with the maximum amount available. We are able to settle the remaining balance through installment payments. I did not handle the envelope. The agreement did not meet our expectations. $850, in addition to applicable interest. Everything. Rachel will file tomorrow morning. We do not possess it. She responded sharply, her demeanor of calm beginning to falter. Andrea has been contacting every bank in Texas. It is unlikely that we will receive additional support without a request for a financial audit, which we cannot accommodate at this time. Could this be attributed to the potential discoveries they might come across? I inquired in a subdued manner. It appears that my investment was utilized for Andrea's MBA rather than being allocated toward the Vineyard's savings. Could you explain how you have been hiding assets within that new LLC? Mother's expression became motionless. I have retained copies of all documents. Mother, each transaction, each transfer. This includes all instances of fraudulent business expenses. Did you truly believe that no one would observe? She leaned forward, adjusting her approach. Please consider your actions carefully. Filing those documents will have repercussions beyond our interests. The reputation of the Vineyard will be compromised. All individuals who rely on us for their means of sustenance are our valued customers. This includes the employees, the distributors, and their families. You would eliminate them all merely to provoke your sister. Please do not attribute this to me. I stated firmly. You and Dad made this decision the moment you opted to take my money without permission. You are the individuals who have jeopardized everyone's employment. Not me. She started to explain that we did not steal. But I interrupted her. I would like to present something to you. I rotated my laptop to showcase the Marshall Creek property listing. It is indeed quite remarkable. River's Edge boasts high-quality soil, optimal elevation, and sufficient acreage, all of which significantly enhance its production capacity. The owner will accept my offer tomorrow morning. Unless I receive a refund first. Mother's eyes widened upon recognizing the property. It is not possible. Is it possible to obtain the land mentioned earlier? It would have detrimental consequences for us. I recommend that you and Andrea engage in creative activities over the next 11 hours. Facilitate the sale of her Mercedes. Secure a mortgage for the property. Request assistance from contacts. I expect a full refund of the amount paid. She rose unsteadily. Your demeanor has evolved. Jessica, you have developed a demeanor that is harsh and unyielding. I have decided to no longer allow you to influence my decisions. Mother, there are two options available at this time: the financial settlement or the legal action. These are the only available options at this time. Following her departure, I contacted Rachel to provide her with an update. They attempted to negotiate. I informed her. The offer included a partial payment. Maintain your position, she recommended. Based on the information I have received, there appears to be a sense of urgency on their part. Their attorney has been contacting banks throughout the day. At that moment, I received a notification from my email. The realtor at Marshall Creek recently reached out to me. The owner is keen to finalize the transaction. I am available to meet tomorrow first to sign the necessary documents. I acknowledged the message and confirmed the meeting in my response. I subsequently sent a message to Andrea. There are 11 hours remaining. Time is crucial. Her response was prompt. This decision may lead to significant consequences. My father's attorney has suggested that the court proceedings could drag on for a long time. I returned one photograph. The perspective from the highest elevation of Marshall Creek, overlooking the primary vineyard of River's Edge. She would identify it from her numerous Instagram photo shoots. Her response consisted of a series of frustrated emojis. The situation was progressing as anticipated, and I had positioned them precisely as intended. With only 2 hours remaining until the deadline, I was in Rachel's office examining the final documentation for both scenarios. I was reviewing the SEC filing and the purchase agreement for Marshall Creek. The sun was setting over Dallas, casting hues of red across the sky that evoked memories of our Cabernet. Rachel noted that their lawyers had made 4 calls within the last hour while reviewing her messages. They are in a state of disarray. A representative named James Turner from First Regional Bank has also been attempting to contact you. I adjusted my posture. James Turner was Andrea's college boyfriend, who ended their relationship due to concerns regarding her perceived high-maintenance nature. He is currently employed as a loan officer. Prior to my response, I received a text from Michael, the accountant. An emergency board meeting has been convened at River's Edge. Andrea is in the bathroom in distress. Your mother is indicating that she may disclose certain information regarding your father unless he addresses this matter. The situation is disorganized. I contacted James, and he responded promptly. The records of the Vineyard indicate significant irregularities. He stated, approval of their emergency loan request is contingent upon the completion of a comprehensive audit. Additionally, there is an alternative option involving a bank that is interested in investing in family-owned wineries. They would require complete transparency, however. Your parents would receive more than merely a loan. I sent a message to my father. A solution exists that does not require my involvement or that of the SEC. Please contact James Turner at First Regional. The allotted time is 90 minutes. Andrea's response was immediate. Do you believe that a bank taking over is preferable to a family-run operation? You are undermining the legacy of our grandfather. I reflected on our grandfather and the time he dedicated to teaching me about the vines while Andrea occupied herself with her phone. His final words resonated in my thoughts. The grapes are indifferent to advanced qualifications. Jesse, they value dedication and commitment to love and hard work. Rachel stated quietly that there is 1 hour remaining. What are the next steps? As the deadline approached, Michael's updates increased in frequency. Your father is currently reviewing documents with the bank. Andrea has contacted 3 different loan officers. Your mother has used approximately half a box of tissues. I maintained proximity to my phone, anticipating a response. The sum of $850 transcended mere financial considerations. The objective was to ensure they confronted the repercussions of their actions. Rachel diligently worked across from me, organizing both sets of paperwork. Subsequently, my father's number was displayed on my phone. The bank seeks to maintain complete authority over financial decisions for a duration of 5 years. He stated, his tone indicating concern. He also announced the addition of 2 board seats. We would be responding to individuals we do not know. I replied in a detached manner. It is preferable to associate with strangers than with thieves. There are 20 minutes remaining. Should we proceed with this course of action and allow the bank to take control? Will you prioritize this matter above all others? Is the presence of the SEC and a competing Vineyard a factor? I inclined my body forward. Execute a formal agreement with the bank. Repay my investment along with the accrued interest. And I will conclude my involvement. I assure you that I will not pose any competition to the esteemed Andrea in the future. He remained silent for an extended period. Your mother believes we should challenge your claims, suggesting that you will not actually file with the SEC due to perceived hesitance. I stated that the determination will take 15 minutes. Time is of the essence. I concluded the call and turned to Rachel. Please prepare the SEC documentation. Before she could access the file, I received an email notification from James Turner. I have signed the documents. The attached document includes my parents' signatures on the bank agreement, as well as a transfer confirmation for $850 plus interest to my account. It appears that they prioritized survival over pride. Rachel remarked. I acknowledged the situation and proceeded to retrieve the real estate agent's contact information. The vineyard located across the valley from Marshall Creek is also available for purchase. I was able to improve my water rights and reduce costs. 2 months later, I found myself on my recently acquired property, Sunset Valley Vineyard. characterized by its ideal western exposure and fertile soil. The perspective of River's Edge across the valley was an added advantage. I utilized the returned $850 as a down payment, attracting investors who were enthusiastic about supporting my venture after reviewing my plans. Michael resigned from River's Edge the day following the bank's acquisition, and I promptly appointed him as my chief financial officer. Andrea is experiencing significant emotional distress, he reported while checking his phone. The bank declined her proposal for a new tasting room, citing concerns regarding unnecessary expenses and the need to prioritize wine quality. I reflected with a smile on the inaugural board meeting of the bank. The Mercedes was replaced with a more practical truck, and the Italian wine tasting tours were cancelled. Andrea's MBA was demonstrating a lack of applicability in the realm of practical financial oversight. My mother continued to send weekly messages regarding family healing, which I chose to disregard. My father has not communicated with me since the signing of the bank agreement. Last week, I received a package that held significant value beyond mere words. A leather-bound notebook belonging to my grandfather, containing his handwritten insights on soil composition, weather patterns, and grape varieties from his time in the vineyard. The accompanying note stated succinctly, "This item is intended for someone who appreciates its value. Father." I now held the notebook while standing among the vines I had recently acquired. In 3 years, these grapes will yield their inaugural vintage. In 5 years, I anticipate competing directly with River's Edge. However, I no longer required their validation. I possessed a more significant opportunity, an opportunity to establish my own legacy. "Are you prepared to begin the planting process?" Michael inquired, gesturing towards the work crew that was prepared with the new rootstock. I placed my grandfather's notebook inside my jacket. "Let us proceed with the winemaking process."